My name is Taisha, and I have been on Zepbound for 65 weeks. I am 47 years old, mother of five, and I am 5'7". My highest weight was 216 pounds, and my current weight is 127 pounds. I started on Zepbound in February of last year. I started at 2.5 milligrams, took that for 4 weeks, and I was titrated up to 5 milligrams. And minus, like a month and a half ago, an adjustment going down, I've been on 5 the entire time, and my plan is to stay on that indefinitely. Now, let's see. When I started this medication, I was 183 pounds. My lowest was 126, and I'm kind of holding steady between, fluctuating between 127 and 128, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a big deal. I haven't had any side effects. When I first started, I was, combing the internet trying to find ways to be successful because in 2023, I was on Wegovy for a short time and I made no lifestyle changes. I didn't do anything. I just kind of leaned into not having an appetite and I lost weight. But when I came off the medication, I gained it back very, very quickly because I didn't make any changes. So that was my experience. So if you're new to Zepbound or any other GLP-1 medication, just know that it is definitely going to require a lifestyle change, right? And I'm not saying that you have to go and eliminate total food groups or, be super restrictive, but you want to make lifestyle changes. And yeah, so, some of the lifestyle changes I made. I was already a vegan, but when I started, I decided to switch back to a whole food plant based diet. That's something that I had done before, not with a lifestyle change in mind, but I remember feeling really good during that time. So, I wanted to do that. I wanted to really cut down tremendously on the amount of ultra processed foods that I was eating. I was eating a lot of fast food. Um, you know, processed food, the faux meats and those types of things. And so I just decided that's not something I want to do. Now, I do have some processed things, right? Like I have tofu, the peanut butter powder that I have every single day, that's processed. Anything not in its natural form, like straight out of the ground or however it grows, it's processed. So I am really staying away from the ultra processed foods. So I post everything that I eat. I have an Instagram that's simply underscore Taisha. That is basically a food and exercise diary. I rarely post other stuff on there. Occasionally I may throw something in the story, but it's really about what I'm eating and the movement that I'm doing. And so initially when I started that, that was just for me, but it's also a great thing to show you so that you can get an idea of, okay, this is what this looks like. So I started on Zepbound in February of 2024. I started strength training in March. So I was already 2 weeks in before I decided to incorporate regular movement. And I've just been consistent with that. So I've been on Zepbound for 65 weeks. We can say 63 of those weeks, I have been consistently strength training. And I only missed one day, and that was the day of the eclipse last year, and I just didn't feel like it. So I jumped right back to it the next day. And since then, I have stayed with each plan. And that's even with going out of town, um, forgetting weights, things like that. So I'm kind of all over the place. Let me bring it back to the food. Okay, so the food, anytime you want to see anything that I eat, it is on Instagram. And that is on the posts. And then if you want to know exactly, most of the time when I put it in my story, I'm telling you what's in it. So that's how you can know. I, at one point, was putting the macros. I don't do any of that anymore. But if you're interested, you just got to go back a little bit farther and it's there. Now, as far as the workouts, I am currently doing a strength training program by Lift with C, and it's, I believe, number 12. So there's a playlist that she has of 30-minute workouts. Now, I'm only doing one, and I'm going to do that for the next 6 weeks. So, I've already completed 1 week, so actually I have 5 more weeks, but it's just 3 days a week, and I've been doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that works well for me. So, this has been actually a little bit challenging. I've found myself pretty sore over the past week, and it probably seems weird that I'm smiling about it, but I just know that I'm pushing myself. So I went a little lighter with the previous program, and that was by Kira Mitlow, and it was a 15-minute standing strength series. And I was doing that Monday through Friday and just 15 minutes. So this is a little longer. Yeah, it's only 3 days, but I'm definitely noticing a difference and I'm pushing myself. So when I say sore, it's not like excruciating where I need to take meds, but I definitely know that I'm doing something. All right. So we've covered the food and the exercise where you can get that stuff. I post different things in the community tab. I welcome you to check that. Lately, I've been kind of I've been doing some polls, questions, Q&A, true and false, just to kind of test your knowledge on the world of GLP-1 and just being on a fitness journey, right? There are a lot of things that we don't necessarily think about. So that's my mission with those to help you think a little bit. I have been doing the daily series. It's called the Daily Dose of Mindset. And that's anywhere between, we'll just say 2 to 5 minutes of helpful tips. And I want you to know that this is more than just weight loss. And the things that we did before aren't necessarily the things that we need to be doing now. And I'll continue to say that if they worked for you, you would have kept doing them. So we want to make sure things are sustainable. And that's my advice to you to be successful on this medication. Pace yourself. Pace yourself. I know that we have a microwave society and we want things right now. But when it comes to our bodies and our health, it just doesn't work like that. And I'm going to say, you can see people that are probably losing weight really quickly. But what I want you to do is I want you to watch them long term. Keep going back and seeing how they do. A lot of times people are doing too much and they end up burning out and they need to take breaks. And there's nothing wrong with needing to take breaks. But if you just keep it slow and sustainable, you won't need to keep taking a bunch of breaks. So that's just my 2 cents about that. I do drink a gallon of water a day. I am not saying that you have to drink that. That's just what I drink. And outside of the 1 ounce of orange juice that I use for the creatine that I take, I just drink water. And it's just a preference. I was not like that before. Before it was lots of lattes and energy drinks and those types of things. I don't drink alcohol at all. I haven't had any since, I want to say it's been 2023. Just no desire to do that anymore. Um, And yeah, that's it. So I do home workouts. Yes, it's not it. I do home workouts because I am able to sustain that. I don't mind group classes, but I know myself and my history. So the easier that I make it for me to be able to do these things, the more chance I have of continuing. So no matter if it's wintertime, no matter if it's storming, anything could be going on outside. That doesn't affect me doing my workout. And sometimes I'm a super starter. I get it knocked out first thing in the morning. And there are other times where I'm pushing it and it's 11 o'clock at night and I'll run down and get it done. So I've been doing daily walks on my walking pad. That is something that I was not consistent with before. The consistency with that started in January. I did a challenge, and part of that was walking for 30 minutes a day. So I just started, and I'm pointing over here because there's my walking pad. So 30 minutes every day. And I've been using a 10-pound weighted vest. I'm fine with that. When I do that, I feel like it's helping me with my posture. And I also feel like I feel it in my core. So that's why I do it. There could be other benefits. I can just focus on what I'm getting from it. And that's going pretty well. On the walking pad, I range from Well, this past week, I've done 3.5 miles per hour for 30 minutes. So that's it. Yes, I can go faster. And there I have had times where I was doing that and I had to give myself a reality check. It's not necessary. I'm doing my strength training to build muscle. Walking, it's very simple. So try not to overcomplicate things. That's another tip that I have for you. And just build up, right? If you're not strength training now, I do recommend it. And you can start with body weight. And there's lots of content creators on YouTube, and you're bound to find someone that aligns with your vision, your goal. So I would just say, type in what you're interested in and see what comes up. Now, I think that's it. That's it. I am not going to drag on just to drag on. I want to tell you that I do have live streams every Monday at 7 p.m. And then, as far as my channel membership, I have two tiers. There's the Charming Caterpillars, and then there's the Blossoming Butterflies. And for that tier, that is where we have the weekly live streams on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And we'll be starting a new program, an 8-week series starting this Thursday. So if you're interested in that, check it out. You can always join. And if you're like not feeling it, hey, there's no harm in canceling your membership. It's totally okay. My goal is to make sure you feel supported and to be a good resource for you. So that is it. Have a wonderful day. And just remember, we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Bye.